Hi, this is Dr. Mary Gillum. Today I had the opportunity to serve as the keynote speaker at the Prince William Chamber of Commerce, the Government Industry Day. Although we did not have the opportunity to record the event, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to share with you some of the things that I had a chance to share with them today. The topic that I spoke on was what makes innovative leaders different. And I proposed that there were 7 strategies that determines an innovative leader from a regular leader. And so we had a chance to talk about that. And so although I will not have a chance to go into much detail because I spent about 45 minutes on that particular presentation, but I will try to summarize some of the main points that I had a chance to share with that audience today. So let's get started. The first thing that I did was to actually ask the question, is innovation dead? A reporter from the HelpAReporterOut.com network actually reached out to people several weeks ago and asked this question. I thought it was very intriguing and very thought-provoking, so I responded. And I basically said, after summarizing a couple of keynotes, was this: if innovation is dead, then America is in a world of hurt. Because according to a 2012 study that was done by the Department of Commerce, and that study was called The Competitiveness and Innovation Capacity of the United States, innovation is the key driver of competitiveness, wage and job growth, and long-term economic growth. So in other words, we cannot begin to think that innovation is dead, because we rely on it for our economic survival. And then I wanted to discuss, what is innovation? There are so many definitions out there that you could do a Google search and probably run into millions of definitions of what innovation is all about. So I thought I would just quote a definition that was actually put forth by the New York City Economic Development Corporation and the U.S. Department of Commerce. And that definition of innovation actually says, innovation is the design, invention, development, and or implementation of new or altered products, services, processes, systems, organizational structures, or business models for the purpose of creating new value for customers and financial returns for the firm. The thing that I really liked about that definition is that, number one, you're not just looking at improving a technology, but you can actually be improving a process, a service, etc. And then you are focused on improving the customer's experience, because that's what it's all about. Making sure that your customers will continue to come back to you because you are providing something of value to them. And in the end, that will in turn generate financial gain for your organization. So that was the discussion on innovation. And then we transition into actually talking about the 7 strategies that I think innovative leaders do engage in. So strategy number 1 was this: innovative leaders, they create a culture of innovative thinking. And when I thought about this, I remember a quote that I read by Henry Chesbrough in 2011, and that quote said, "No company can grow and prosper without new ideas, but you have to create a culture in which people are engaged in innovative thinking in order for that to take place." And then I talked about the 3P framework that was put forth by Dyer and Gergarickson in 2012. And that process, well, that framework actually incorporates the people, the process, and the policies. And what those authors were actually talking about was that it is the company that leverages the relationship between their organization and the people, process, and policies that will continue to grow and develop as innovative leaders, because you have to be able to leverage that within your organizations and so forth. And so I went on and I gave all kinds of examples of people who actually do that, and companies as well. And then for strategy number 2, because like I said, we don't have a lot of time to go through all the details that I presented at the conference, but I just want to give you just a taste of what we had a chance to enjoy today. So strategy number 2 is this: innovative leaders, they establish a vision that incorporates innovation as part of their growth strategy. And one of the quotes that I really wanted to use to support this particular strategy was the one by President Obama a few years ago. And that quote is this: "The key to our success, and I would say as a nation, as it has always been, will be to compete by developing new products, by generating new industries, by maintaining our role as the world's engine of scientific discovery and technological innovation." It's absolutely essential to our future. And that quote was from, like I said earlier, President Obama. Because I believe that innovative leaders definitely need to establish a vision that incorporates innovation as part of their growth strategy. And when I think about Steve Jobs, or the late Steve Jobs at Apple, he was the epitome of that, because Apple was to the point that people could not wait until they found out what the next best thing was going to be coming out of Apple. And you had to have a leader who made that a part of his or her vision. And that has to be what we do today as leaders. Innovation cannot just be something that is on the back burner, but you have to be thinking about it, and it has to be part of your growth strategy. Because if you don't grow, you're not going to be around in the business sector. But you have to continue to innovate so that you can remain relevant. The third strategy that I talked about was innovative leaders, they recognize opportunities and they act. And when I wrote this, the example that I really wanted to use was the example from Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers. Because can you just imagine what the world would have been like if these guys had given up on their aviation dream? But they saw an opportunity and they acted on that opportunity. They refused to give up. I'm quite sure they probably encountered all kinds of setbacks and challenges, but they were willing to continue to fulfill their dream. And because of that, we are the benefactors of what they chose to do, because they saw an opportunity and they chose to act. I believe that as we continue to do that, we will be responsive to all kinds of opportunities that will help to make our economy better for those who will come after us. So, strategy number 4, and we will get through these as quickly as possible here. Innovative leaders, they value people and strategic partnerships. I believe that people are the nucleus of any successful organization. We rely on the people to come up with the innovative ideas and solutions. And so therefore, we need to value the intellectual capital that they bring to the table. We often talk about people as being our most valuable asset. But a lot of times in organizations, that's not the case at all. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, we need to create a culture in which our people, they feel free to generate new ideas. And so therefore, we need to value our people. And we also need to value strategic partnerships. I talked about a effort that Nambasan, I think that's the way you pronounce it, and Shahi or Shani, they put forth back in 2011, and that dealt with transitioning from a firm-centric type of innovation to a